June 1st, 2009, 2 a.m., deep over the Atlantic Ocean. There is no moon. The sky is pitch black. The ocean below is invisible. Flight 447, a state-of-the-art Airbus A330, is cruising through a massive thunderstorm. Inside the cabin, 228 people are sleeping. They feel a little turbulence. The seatbelt signs ding. They think it is routine, but inside the cockpit, it is absolute chaos. Alarms are screaming. The flight computer has failed, and the pilots are terrified. They are falling out of the sky at 10,000 feet per minute, and because their instruments are lying to them, they don't know they are falling. For 4 long minutes, they fight a machine that they do not understand all the way down to the water. This is the story of Titanic of modern aviation, the mystery that took 2 years to solve, the vanishing of Air France 447. To understand how a modern plane can simply disappear, we have to look at the technology. The Airbus A330 is one of the smartest planes ever built. It is fly-by-fire. The computer protects the pilots. It won't let you stall. It won't let you turn too hard. It is supposed to be crash-proof. But the computer needs data to work. Specifically, it needs to know how fast it is going. And that data comes from these small metal tubes on the nose of the plane, the Pitot Tubes. On this night, the storm was throwing millions of ice crystals at the plane. Within seconds, the ice clogged the pilot tubes. The speedometer went dead. The computer, blinded and confused, did exactly what it was programmed to do. It disconnects the autopilot. It handed control back to the humans. And it effectively said, "I don't know what is happening. You fly the plane." In the cockpit, the captain was on break. He was sleeping in the bunk behind the flight deck. Flying the plane was the junior pilot, Pierce Cedric Bonin. When the autopilot disconnected, Bonin panicked. He was startled. The plane rolled slightly to the right due to the turbulence. His instinct was to pull back on the stick. He pulled the nose up. He kept pulling up. The massive jet climbed sharply. It traded speed for altitude. It slowed down and slowed down until the wings stopped flying. Suddenly, a synthetic voice screamed through cockpit.
Stall,
Stall, stall. This is the sound of every pilot dreads. It means you are falling. The solution to the stall is simple. Push the nose down. Dive to gain speed. But Bonin, confused by the freezing instruments and the darkness, kept doing the exact opposite. He kept pulling back. He was holding the nose up while the plane fell like a stone. The plane was now falling, belling first toward the sea. The engines were running at full power, but they were pointed at the sky, not the horizon. In the other seat, the co-pilot David Robert tried to take control. He pushed his stick forward to dive, but he didn't know that Bonin was still pulling back. The Airbus creates an average of the two inputs. One pushed, one pulled. The computer cancelled them out. The plane stayed in the fatal stall. 1 minute later, the captain burst into the cockpit. He had been woken up by the turbulence. He shouted, "What the hell are you doing?" But it was chaos. The alarms were blaring. The pilots were shouting conflicting information. They were looking at altimeters, unwinding like clocks, but their brains refused to believe it. They were falling from 38,000 feet in total darkness. At 2,000 feet, the ground proximity alarm went off. "Pull up! Pull up!" Bonin shouted. "But I've been pulling back for a while." At that moment, the captain realized the horror. He realized the junior pilot had been stalling the plane the entire time. He shouted, "No, no, no! Don't climb! Descend!" But gravity had already won. Flight 447 slammed into the Atlantic Ocean, belly flat, at 125 miles per hour. The impact was instantaneous. The wreckage sank 13,000 feet into the abyss. For 2 years, the world didn't know what happened. It was only when submarine drones found the black boxes in the deep darkness that the truth came out. It wasn't the storm. It wasn't the machine. It was a moment of human confusion in the middle of the night. Air France 447 changed pilot training forever. It taught us that pilots must be ready for anything. But sometimes, a crew faces a threat that isn't mechanical, but violent. In our next documentary, we are taking you to a war zone. A civilian cargo plane taking off from Baghdad that becomes the target of a terrorist missile. The wing is on fire. The hydraulics are gone. The steering wheel is dead. Physics says this plane cannot fly. Subscribe and turn on notifications to see if it is possible to land a jumbo jet with absolutely zero flight controls. I'll see you there.